You are not broke because you're incapable. You're broke because you're comfortable. And comfort is dangerous because it doesn't feel dangerous. It feels earned. It feels stable. It feels mature. But psychologically, comfort is one of the most expensive states you can live in. Let me show you why. Most people think wealth is about effort. Work harder. Wake up earlier. Push more. But effort isn't the divider. Tolerance for discomfort is. And most people have unknowingly trained themselves to avoid it. Not pain, discomfort. There's a difference. Pain is intense. Discomfort is subtle. It's the tension before you raise your rates. It's the hesitation before sending the bold email. It's the anxiety before investing in yourself. It's the quiet voice that says, maybe later. And your brain listens to that voice because your brain is designed for safety. Thousands of years ago, safety meant survival. Stay with the tribe, avoid risk, preserve energy. But today, survival isn't the problem. Expansion is. And expansion feels unsafe. Imagine someone earning $60,000 a year. They're intelligent, capable. They know they could earn more. They even have ideas. But every time they think about taking a bigger step, switching industries, starting a side skill, negotiating a raise, their body tightens, heart rate increases, uncertainty rises, and the brain interprets that as danger. So they delay, they scroll, they research more, they wait for the right time. Comfort restored, income unchanged. This isn't laziness, it's nervous system protection. Your brain is constantly scanning for loss. Loss of money, loss of status, loss of stability. This is called loss aversion. Psychologically, losing $1 hurts more than gaining $1 feels good. So when growth introduces uncertainty, your brain focuses on what could go wrong, not what could scale. And over time, this compounds, because comfort compounds. Every time you choose the easier path, you reinforce the identity of someone who avoids expansion. Every time you shrink your ambition to feel safe, you strengthen that pattern. Identity shapes income, not motivation. Identity. If you see yourself as someone who plays it safe, you will subconsciously sabotage opportunities that require boldness. Now here's where it gets deeper. We live in a comfort-optimized world. Food delivered instantly, entertainment instantly, validation instantly, stimulation constantly. Your nervous system rarely has to tolerate boredom or uncertainty, but wealth is built in those exact states. Deep work requires boredom tolerance. Skill acquisition requires frustration tolerance. Investing requires volatility tolerance. Most people never train these, so when financial growth demands emotional instability, they retreat to emotional comfort. You don't actually want wealth, you want security, and security feels like predictability. But high income rarely begins as predictable. It begins as unstable, awkward, uncertain. This is the psychological fork in the road. One path feels calm, but caps you. The other feels tense, but expands you. High earners are not fearless. They're conditioned differently. They've trained themselves to reinterpret discomfort. Instead of, this feels wrong, they think, this means I'm stretching. That reframe changes decisions, and decisions change income. Think about your last week. Did you choose what stretched you, or what soothed you? Scrolling soothes. Rewatching content soothes. Spending on small comfort soothes. Avoiding difficult conversation soothes. But soothing is not scaling. Growth feels messy. It feels socially risky. It feels exposing. And most people unconsciously optimize for emotional stability over financial expansion. Here's the paradox. To become financially stable, you must first become emotionally unstable, temporarily. That instability is adaptation, your nervous system adjusting to a bigger identity. But if you retreat too early, you shrink back to your old income level. So what do? You train discomfort tolerance deliberately. Start small. 1 hour per day of focused, uninterrupted deep work. No phone, no switching tasks, just intensity. Your brain will resist. That's the point. Second, make one decision per week that scares you slightly. Send the email, ask the question, apply for the role, raise the price. Tiny exposures build tolerance. Third, track avoidance. At the end of each day, ask, what did I avoid today because it felt uncomfortable? That awareness alone begins rewiring patterns. Wealth is rarely built through dramatic leaps. It's built through repeated expansions beyond your comfort baseline. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If your life feels completely stable, you're probably not expanding. If your income hasn't changed in years, you're probably operating inside a comfort boundary. Comfort feels responsible. But often it's just fear dressed as logic. So the real question isn't, how do I make more money? It's this. Where am I choosing soothing over scaling? Where am I shrinking my vision to preserve emotional safety? And are you willing to feel unstable long enough to become financially stable? Because that trade is the one most people refuse to make, and that refusal has a cost.